Greetings, you gorgeous, mystical souls. I am Chloe the Elven Mage, founder of Mystic Hearts, multi-dimensional mentor. I am here to help you face and break away from your fears and live a magical, multi-dimensional life. Thank you so much for being here and welcome. It's been a while, but welcome back to another episode of Coffee Shop Chats. So I have actually had lots of hot drinks today. More often than not, I record these videos in the morning, so it's always like a coffee time or a hot chocolate time for me. I've had enough today, so I've got a cup of coconut water, keeping hydrated. So if you're new here, these are candid conversations. Today is a little bit different, but please do join me in grabbing a hot or cold beverage of your choice. And this will be an intimate conversation where we feel like we are in a coffee shop or a cozy space together, drinking our favorite drink. You can see the reflection of me in the drink. So if you want to now, pause this video and go and grab a drink so that you can sit back, relax, and enjoy this conversation. Cheers! So good to see you. Let me have a sip. Please do remember to like this video, and comments make me so happy. I will reply to every comment. I love building a community in the videos, in the comments, so please do comment on this if you watch the video. Even if it's a thumbs down, that's absolutely fine. We celebrate freedom of expression here. Got my white roses here. I'm finally recovered from feeling ill, and I bought myself these white roses to call in the power of healing. I always feel like white is a very healing colour. So calling in the healing, I'm happy to say I am feeling much, much better now. I would say I'm about like 95%, almost there. So, well, today, as I mentioned, is something very different. So those of you who have been keeping up with my latest content, you will have seen my Wandering and Pondering video earlier this week, where I spoke about karma and I spoke about the deep, dark shadow work of November and the ending of huge karmic cycles, because we are coming to the end of a 9-year 2025 equals 9. And this is on top of that. I wanted to go a bit deeper and share something with you that feels very vulnerable. And this is a brand new style. So if you like this style of interview, please let me know, because there are so many more ways I can do this, so many more characters and beings I can invite in this interview style. So please do let me know if you enjoy this video and if you receive some inspiration or just some takeaways from this style. You can see I'm a little bit nervous about this. I have been putting it off, and resistance is a sign of where we're going to expand and transform the most. So I'm here doing it because I practice what I preach. I don't preach what I don't practice. So here goes. I have a very special guest with me today. And now this guest is someone who I have known for a very long time, and I have been in conversation with for a very long time. However, I have to say that I have never interviewed this guest in this way. So, here goes. So I'm going to welcome in my guest. Thank you so much for being here. Please, can you introduce yourself first of all, do you have a name? Where you come from? Introduce yourself in any way that you want to. And then please tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, what your role is, what your main role has been at the moment, and why you're here, and what the message is that you want to share in this moment. And then we'll dive a little bit deeper. Greetings. I am Chloe's shadow. If you want a name, you can call me your dark mirror. What do? I creep up to the surface of your consciousness, Chloe, from the very depths of your pain, of your patterns, of your programming. And I come to mirror that back to you, to see whether or not you are ready to evolve and grow and move on. I am not good. I am not bad. I am merely a reflection of the deep truth that lies dormant within, yearning to be seen, to be felt, and to be overstood. My main job, well, I have been very busy. You have kept me very busy throughout November, Chloe, as you consciously choose to grow and evolve and expand who you are, not only as a human, but as a soul and as a being. As you choose to expand, it is my job to make sure that you are ready, to move on from the ways of old and step into the realms of the unknown. One of my biggest jobs, if you like to call it that, for me, it is merely what I do, has been to keep reflecting to you mirrors and memories of your past self, past life, versions of you, to see if you are so tempted and seduced into falling back into the comfort of those past versions of you. This lifetime, thus far, although I am certain now that you have chosen to end this cycle permanently, for which I can close the chapter of this dark book, is the pattern of destructive behavior, choosing toxic social environments, drugs, alcohol, and other low vibrational activities and choices that keep pulling you back into a false sense of comfort, a false sense of fitting in and a very false sense of freedom. The version of you who once sought out consciousness altering substances to feel free, to feel confident, to feel liberated, no longer exists. So you cannot go back into those low vibrational activities without sacrificing, without giving up a piece of you. And I have been here to mirror this to you, mirroring the destruction, the pain, the darkness of what could happen if you choose to go back down that path and keep answering the call of dark temptation. I am merely a mirror of the darkness within. What else would you like me to answer? Wow, shadow. Oh my goodness, I'm a little bit lost for words. Okay, first of all, thank you so much for being here and agreeing to actually share your voice. I know that as my shadow, you want to stay in the shadows. That is where you dwell. So thank you so much for agreeing to this and for sharing, wow, in such a profound way. And thank you for sharing that you are a mirror, just a dark mirror of my innermost pain and innermost places and parts of me that are just yearning to be acknowledged and shone with love. And I really appreciate that you are this wise teacher within me that is really just helping to support me in leveling up and growing and expanding and really stepping up in becoming my higher self. This is so cool because for so long I always thought of shadow work as something that is so scary and so intense. And now that I've had the opportunity to meet you and actually communicate with you in this way, I see you as such a wise teacher, no longer dark and no longer scary and full of fear, but I actually see you as this deep, deep source of wisdom. So thank you. I feel like my perspective already has totally shifted. And okay, I have to be honest. Thank you so much for your patience with me. I know some of my shadows have taken a long time of trying and failing and trying a different way and failing and starting again to finally come to an end, especially the one that you were speaking upon on the toxic lifestyle and the addictions. But thank you so much for keep on reminding me steadily and patiently. But actually, I have to say, I have noticed you upping the pace and the intensity of the dark mirror, which you called, and I absolutely love that analogy. Thank you. Holding up that dark mirror in front of me to the point recently where it has been impossible for me to avoid and impossible for me to not look in that mirror and be like, holy crap, I need to stop running from this. Thank you. Wow, okay. I don't know what to ask next. All right. Okay, I have some things in mind. So, as a woman, And as a woman who is an only child of a single parent, who is single myself, not married, single, running my own business, I have some questions for you about lack. Now, I don't like this word, but again, it's probably something that definitely needs to be addressed, and definitely something that I need to look at in the black mirror. So I'm going to ask you this because I'd be so fascinated to hear your dark and wise perspective on this. So I have, for the past 6 years, been building up my own business to support others in their healing, in their activation, and in their transformation. My business has grown through experience. It has blossomed and bloomed and changed direction. And recently, in the past 6 to 8 months, I have built up an incredibly fruitful, sustainable online business with international clients, people all over the world, booking me for quantum healing, mentorship, coaching, and artwork. And the bookings come in, they come at a pace that feels amazing for me. And yet, however, when I go through times and moments of when the bookings slow down, so say for a week or two, everything goes quiet, why is it that I naturally start fearing that everything's going wrong, that something's gone wrong, or people don't want to book me anymore, or they found someone else? Why is it that I automatically go to that doom and disaster and fall back into full-blown panic mode? Any wisdom and guidance you could give me on this would be amazing. Thank you so much. Well, first of all, Chloe, you answered your question within the first sentence. You mentioned that you are an only child of a single parent, and you are single. That within itself is describing a story not of lack of financial wealth, but a story that something is missing. Not one thing, many things. And therefore, when these moments come in business, when the receiving of bookings and receiving of financial abundance slows down, I will creep up from the shadows, from the deepest chasms of these wounds, to come and remind you of where you feel like there is something missing in your life. So let's address each of these wounds one by one. So, you said you are a single child, an only child. Within the depths of your heart, there is a sense of loneliness, a sense of being misunderstood, a yearning for family and people around you to support you and turn to. Now you do have a support system in your life. However, this wound runs deep. So why I bring this up from the shadows and hold the dark mirror in front of you is so that you may shine light on the only child within, the only child who just wants friendship, companionship, sharing of adventures, sharing of responsibilities, burdens and tasks. And therefore, when you are experiencing these feelings of worry or lack, or asking if you are doing something wrong, one of the pathways that you can take is to address the single or the only child within and ask them what they need. And perhaps that may look like reaching out to those close to you whom you trust and expressing your worries and concerns and asking for help and support. And now let's address the other shadow in the life, where this deep wound of something missing stems from. Single parent. That feeling of lacking a male role model in life. And when we think of the divine masculine, the caretaker, the protector, the provider, all of these role models and archetypes were never experienced and never received for you in this lifetime. So I bring to you these feelings from the shadow of the weight and the pressure of feeling the responsibility of having to do everything for yourself, having to provide for yourself, having to take care of yourself, and feeling the pressure of this. However, whilst I bring this up from the shadows for you to shine light upon it, I can suggest the medicine and the lesson and the blessing within this is that this is not a burden. This is a privilege. You have been gifted this unique pathway of being a single parent to a single mother, so that you can alchemize the divine masculine within. And it will take strength, and it will take devotion and determination to succeed, to take care of yourself, to provide for yourself. But you have the blueprint within you to do this. And now I will be coming up time and time again to moments when you're feeling comfortable, when you're feeling great, I will come up to test that inner strength, to test that container which you are building around yourself to hold your divine feminine, to hold your creativity. I will come to test that strength. So all I ask is that you keep building, keep growing, keep going, never give up faith. And when you question yourself, when you feel the burden of having to provide, take the burdens off your shoulders. Stop. Let it go. And let's come to that third wounding of the root of something lacking within your life that is like a poison arrow deep within the heart and the solar plexus that keeps tapping, keeps on tapping when these moments come that require trust and patience and love. And that is that you are single, not in a partnership. And this, my dear, is the shadow. And this shadow, this wound has a name. I am unlovable. And when you feel unlovable, you are unable to receive not only love, but abundance. And you are unable to fully give love and be in love. And this again is a blessing. You are being presented with the opportunity at this time to love yourself more deeply and more intensely and more authentically than any other human could. This shadow of separation and of being unlovable is teaching you how to have the most divine, romantic love affair with yourself. So you see the antidote, if we take into account all of these woundings around lack and worry and panic, the antidote to all of these is loving yourself more deeply. So when I come knocking at the doors of your consciousness with discomfort, with worry, with fear, with despair, with panic, with casting the worst case scenario into the future, what I invite you to do is ask yourself, how can I love myself more deeply? Wow, Shadow. Thank you so much. It is such an honor and a blessing to be communicating with you in this way. And I feel like you have highlighted to me shadows and woundings that I have already been aware of, but you've broken them down in such a clear way. So when I am feeling like I'm really seeking validation, like people liking me and engaging with me and booking me, when I'm seeking that, that really is my only child, inner me, calling out for friendship and community and support from others. Amazing. That is such incredible practical advice. Thank you. And when I feel the pressure and the burden of having to make money and having to pay the bills, really recognizing that that is this feeling of lacking that masculine role model in myself, and understanding the lesson and the privilege of the pathway that I have chosen in this lifetime to become that king archetype within myself, and to take off that burden, let it go, and lean more into trust, faith, divinely guided action. Amazing. Thank you so much. This is like revelation after revelation. And then the final one of being a 35-year-old woman, single, unmarried, with no children. Again, my choice, totally my choice at this moment in time. And recognizing that perhaps there's some insecurities around unworthiness and being unlovable. And when that comes up, recognizing that, and then choosing and asking myself, how can I just love myself more deeply? How can I shower love on myself, love that I had never received from another human? Oh my goodness, mind blown. That was a mic drop, Shadow. Thank you so much. This is incredible, because I often see times when maybe things slow down a little bit in business, or I receive bookings. I always do feel like this is a test. So thank you for that confirmation. But I often feel like it's also a gift, so that I can take a breath and take a step back and really analyze if I am doing things that is in alignment with my higher self. So I feel like with the added guidelines that you have given me, this is such a solid blueprint for keeping going and evolving and expanding, even through those tough times when it feels like everything's falling apart. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness, this is amazing. Okay, I know that you have got so much more work to do, and I know that you feel uncomfortable being in the spotlight. I know that you prefer to stay in the shadows, but I would love to, and I think we have time for one more question. And this has been something that has been coming up into my consciousness so much recently. As you all know, you have been encouraging me to address a lot of witch wounding within myself. So parallel past life woundings of suppression, especially around the voice or expression, magical and mystical embodiment. A lot about speaking though, and for me in particular, a lot of blocks are still very prevalent around my voice. In particular, singing and screaming and channeling. Those three, again, the three is the magic number. And I believe, and I have been led to believe, that the next year, and perhaps even longer, it could be a few years, is going to be collectively addressing the throat chakra. It's going to be inviting us to address those emotional wounds from childhood, from the past, from past lives, and then rise up into the throat to express ourselves, because until we are expressing ourselves freely and authentically, it's going to be very difficult for actual tangible change to be seen and experienced in the world around us. So, my question is, why do I have such a block around singing? I have all my life, as far as I can remember, I have been terrified of singing publicly. It is getting better. I do feel like I can sing when I'm in the mood in front of people. But I am still blocked, and I love singing, and yet when I want to do it as like an activity, there's such a block there. And so why is there a block around that? A block around channeling, and a block around screaming. Like, I love heavy metal music, and I would freaking love to scream. Oh my goodness. So why is there a block around this? And do you have any advice that you could also share for the collective around healing the throat chakra, freeing our voice and our authentic expression, the importance of this and the power, and anything else that you would like to share would be much appreciated. Thank you, Shadow. That which you fear the most leads you down the pathway of your greatest and most miraculous expansion. You have a pathway and a higher calling, Chloe, to be a leader. And this is why using your voice in such a way, in all of its multi-dimension of power and expression, feels so dark and so scary and so monumentally triggering to you at this time. It is the pathway to your greatest door of expansion. You have had many lifetimes of being enslaved, captured, tortured, killed, hunted down, suppressed, had your magic taken away from you, for being you in your full expression, whether that be leading, speaking, writing, singing, dancing, healing, is not relevant. All of those lifetimes where you were free in your authentic expression and authentic soul's blueprint, you were hunted and suppressed, and that wounding is coming up like a black smoke from the depths of your being to the surface of your consciousness now, because in this lifetime you are being called upon to break yourself free from this timeline. You have the privilege and you have the safety to be free in your authentic expression now in this lifetime. And that is why it feels so strong and so resistant to you, because myself and your higher self are pushing you and guiding you along this pathway. The more you resist it, the more difficulties and the more hurdles you will face in not only your business but your everyday life. The more that you can find ways to face and overcome these fears and these blocks of expressing your word, your voice, your roar, your scream, your song freely and authentically, the more magic, miracles, and opportunity will start weaving effortlessly in and out of your life. And this mirrors every soul where they are experiencing deep resistance, deep fear towards doing something, where that shadow is tapping on their shoulder, telling them they can't do something, or they shouldn't do it, or someone else is doing it better than them. They're not good enough, not worthy enough. That shadow is pointing them to the dark corner in the depth of their being that is yearning to have light poured into it and yearning to be expressed fully, freely, and completely. And just like you, Chloe, every soul who finds a way to face this fear, step by step, expressing whatever it is their soul is yearning to express, they too will experience miracles and magic and shifts beyond their wildest beliefs, flowing in and out of their lives with ease. And you are here to lead the way. Fear is not real. Just like I explained to you at the start of this conversation, I am merely a mirror of all of the darkness within you that is yearning for the light of love to be shone upon it. And that is what fear is. Fear is lack of love. Fear is an invitation to find how we can love ourselves more. Wow, Shadow, once again, my mind is blown. I'm not sure if I should thank you for publicly sharing my greatest fears, which every little voice inside of me is telling me that it's true, and yet I'm still facing so much resistance. But thank you. Thank you for bringing that to light and sharing it in a way that I feel could be supportive of other humans and other souls on this journey as well, facing fears and facing resistance. If we can really take it upon ourselves to take baby steps towards facing those fears, it's going to unlock the pathway towards our greatest expansion. I mean, how magical is that? And I feel like for those of us on this journey of self-knowledge and seeking and understanding, our soul knows that that is true. It's just our ego and our subconscious patterns and wounding that tell us otherwise. But we've got this. And I know what I need to do now. Using my voice in ways that feel scary. And I have to admit, doing this interview today is definitely one of them. And I can even feel like so much tension clearing and expanding from my throat and from my chest. This has been something that I have been resisting. So here we go. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to post a question in the comments. I'd love to know your feedback, any introspective thoughts, takeaways from this video. Let me know. Did you enjoy this interview style of coffee shop chats? If so, who would you like me to interview? One of my guides, my higher self? Do you want me to interview my shadow, part 2? Let me know. Please remember to hit the like button and subscribe if you're new here. It will be so awesome to have your support. Please do check out the Wandering and Pondering video, which I will link at the end of this video, so that you can get an overview of these karmic patterns and some of the things that my shadow was sharing about in a lot more of a casual way, where I walk around nature just sharing what's on my heart. So if you enjoyed this video, you could enjoy that one too. Sending you so much love from my heart to yours. I can't wait to see you again soon.